It's now 8:15 in the morning here in Paris. Let's move on with a business update. And today, our business editor, Stephen Carroll, is in Lisbon. He's rubbing shoulders with some of the biggest names in the technology industry. Now, many of you might think of tech as being a bit dry and dull, but Stephen, the Web Summit where you are has a schedule that includes pub crawls, and it looked more like Eurovision to me at the opening on Monday night.
Yeah, it's certainly a fairly showbiz event. I mean, you can get an idea of that just by looking at the stage behind me here. And we did see a fairly, razzmatazz opening of this event last night. It's a much bigger event than usual this year in Lisbon. We've got more than 53,000 people attending. That's up from around 40,000 last year. It's the first time that it's been held here in the Portuguese capital. It's previously been held in Dublin. So it's its first year here in Portugal. And we did see the Portuguese Prime Minister and the Mayor of Lisbon on stage last night for that opening ceremony as well. And there is a sort of a fairly broad range of discussions happening here. You've got not only those startup companies that are hoping to meet investors and make deals while they're here as well, but you've got some of the biggest names in the industry as well, executives from companies like Facebook and Amazon attending too, also interested in discussing not only the latest gadgets and the latest innovations, but a broader discussion too of some of the issues in, I suppose, technology, but also affecting society. And there is a certain political spin on the agenda here as well. I mean, apart from the names I just mentioned, we had the likes of José Manuel Barroso, the former head of the European Commission, also on stage last night. And there are topics discussing, what governments should be doing for entrepreneurs, how the state should be intervening in creating good business environments and also good technological environments. And there are a whole range of issues on the agenda here being discussed, including privacy and cybersecurity, of course, not only very relevant for the technology industry, but for society as a whole. And to talk a little bit about that further, I'm joined by Mike Janke, who's the chairman and co-founder of Silent Circle, a privacy and communications firm. Mike, thanks for being with us.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks.
This morning, you're also, of course, a former US Navy SEAL, and I'd like to ask you, first of all, about the American elections. Of course, lots of focus on that today. In your estimation, how have the candidates dealt with issues around privacy? Is there, do you see one that you think is going to handle this issue better than another?
Absolutely not. I think they're both horrible on privacy, and generally in technology as a whole, we haven't really seen any coherent stance from either one of them. And that might be okay, so they don't disrupt the status quo, but I don't think anybody in the Valley or in other parts of Europe think either one of them have a really coherent policy on privacy as a whole.
And should we be worried about that?
Yes, that should be something we should be worried about, but at the same time, it's not unusual. Most of the politicians that we work with or that you run into both in the EU and North America, they're way out of date and have a big misunderstanding on what personal privacy is as related to the security issue.
And what do they need to know? What's the essential message that isn't getting through to those politicians?
Well, that's a great question. It depends upon where you're at. At Data Tribe, the startup studio I co-founded, we build cybersecurity firms as well. So you get a lot of different questions when politicians come down, whether it's around stopping some nation state from shutting down your power grid to personal privacy. When I talk about personal privacy from the Silent Circle and the Black Phone perspective, most of them kind of gloss over and said, well, we don't understand the problem. So they're very distant from the personal privacy conversation, but they are definitely engaged in what I'll call the cybersecurity. They understand that because it's dollars and cents.
Well, I mean, that's part of the issue. We've seen a lot more focus on cybersecurity issues this year. We've had very high-profile hacks, Sony, Yahoo. Are companies dealing with these, and what do they need to be doing to protect themselves?
Yes, they are dealing with them, but you're right. The monetary damage, as well as the reputation damage that you're seeing happening from, let's say, the Yahoos and some of the others, both in Europe as well as North and South America, has increased literally 100, 200%. So hospitals that are being held ransom with ransomware, people are voting with their feet, consumers are voting with their feet, and politicians are looking at that as well, but there's not much they can do. So that's more of a private industry type thing, but we are seeing in the cybersecurity world, money, new firms, new startups, new technologies being applied to it, but it's still a last mile race, right? We're always addressing problems that are happening now, and it's very hard to be proactive. So an organization that spends millions of dollars to protect itself is still behind the curve.
Okay, Mike Janke, co-founder and chairman of Silent Circle, thank you very much for being with us in Lisbon this morning. Just time to have a look at the markets before we go. Of course, a very volatile 48 hours ahead for the markets. Looking at the results of the US elections, we are seeing some small gains in Asia today. That's coming off the gains that we saw trading on Wall Street yesterday. And with that, it's back to you in the studio, Kat.
Thanks very much. Stephen Carroll reporting there for us from the Web Summit in Lisbon.